This is TWiT.
Did we talk about this last Sunday? We've been talking about it all week. The Uber app had been carefully crafted to, in violation of Apple's policies, get unique identifiers for every user of the app. And this was actually Uber trying to eliminate fraud on the part of its drivers. But Apple says very clearly you cannot get identifying information and keep it. They were using secret APIs to do that. Apple can do it, but not third-party apps. Tim Cook, Uber thought, oh, we'll never get caught because we've geo-fenced our app so that it doesn't do this if it's in Cupertino. What they forgot is Apple's a kind of a big company. They might have people outside of Cupertino anyway. The Apple figured it out. Tim Cook, instead of banning them from the App Store, or even like saying things like, well, all right, but you've got to tell your users. Tim Cook just said, now, Travis, don't do that. You got to stop that. Now, knock it off. And Travis did. Would have been nice had they said something. But that was the only thing we learned in that article. As a little bit farther down in the article, almost at the bottom of it, we found out that Uber was buying Lyft receipts from a company called Slice. Slice had bought a company called Unroll Me, a company I've recommended and used, which had a great free service, Unroll.me. What they did is you would sign up, you'd give it your Gmail credentials, and then it would go through and help you unsubscribe to newsletters you didn't want and do a digest of newsletters you did. Uncluttering your mailbox was a great idea. Turned out the business model was, now we got your email. And we can sell information that we extract from your email, like, for instance, how many Lyft rides you took. Now, we'll anonymize that information, but they did sell that to Uber. Uber was using it for competitive research. They were trying to figure out how much business Lyft was generating, and those were very valuable. A lot of people reading this felt like they'd been, robbed. And Uber, Unroll Me's CEO and founder, wrote a blog post to say how heartbroken he was that you found out.
That was not a helpful blog. That was not a helpful
you
blog.
You found out what he was up to.
And wasn't it so much that the Unroll Me, the current CEO of Unroll Me, was like, please stop talking. Like, just don't.
Ixnay on the.
Maybe just don't post. Maybe just don't post.
Yeah, and we can do better and blah, blah, blah. But it sounds like your point, and I think this is well taken, Greg, is that, of course they were doing this. How else would they make this work?
Well, I think for me, it's not so much that Uber was doing this, but think about how many other data sources Uber's got. So now they've got access to, inverted commas, anonymized information. And we have so much.
It's not anonymized, obviously.
It's not. Anybody can unanonymize this data. We've seen that so consistently over the years. So let's do away with the fallacy that it was anonymized. That's bullshit, right? What we have is the data that came from Unroll Me. How many other data sources was Uber buying to build a competitive profile? Much less its own data. So the Uber app tracks you when you're in the car, but it also tracks you for 30 minutes, 5 minutes after you leave. So if it's now let's just take the Unroll Me thing. If it's now seeing your receipts for, say, going into a restaurant, and it knows that it took you there, then it can say, well, hang on, Uber dropped this person at this place. Here's a receipt for this exact time. I can match up this person with their personal data.
Oh, my God.
And so now you can build up a whole profile around somebody. Now, keep in mind that Uber can also go out onto the internet and talk to Verizon and get anonymized data about their people's traffic on the internet and suck that into that data platform.
Yes, that's now completely legal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised Uber's doing this. I'm, I guess, more surprised that, services like Unroll Me, these things pop up all the time. And they're always like your conspiracy theorist friend who's like, why are you giving up your data to this
Why
company?
would you put a camera with Amazon in your closet?
Exactly. And most people don't pay any attention. But then fast forward a couple of months and, oh, my God, they're selling the data. Then people start freaking out. And then there's the consumer reaction. I wish we had the earlier stuff, too. Yeah. But it's tough. Yeah.
We used to say follow the money to find out why something was being wrong. And increasingly, I find myself following the data collection.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in Amazon's case, Amazon actually isn't about the money. It's about the data. And Google's in this business and Facebook is in this business. It wants the data. It wants to have it wants your photographs so it can mine them for information. It wants your messages. It doesn't care about your home address and your mobile phone number anymore. What it wants is the metadata associated with that. It wants to know that your mobile phone was in the back of an Uber and then that you went to this restaurant because that categorizes you as this person, which I can now target for ads.